Hey everyone, how's it going? Oh, you're wondering what's going on. So I felt like, I always wear the same clothes every single day. I thought, let's just change it up a bit. So how about today I just kind of, teach the class like this, just in my, my regular everyday clothes. So let's see who's in the chat. Let's see who's here. Keith? I recognize Keith. Who else is here? Yeah, I felt that I always wear the same clothes, so I thought today would be a good day just to try, dressing more normally. I do have to say though, the lights that I use in this studio are actually pretty bright. Kind of think I need something to block the light for a bit. Hold on a second. See if I can just, maybe I'll just do this. I think that's a good compromise. Okay, there we go. All right. That's much better. Okay, yeah, the light was a bit bright, so I think my hat will help to kind of block some of that from making it too bright. All right, so where were we? Let's see. A few people asking some questions. We'll get to that in a second. Actually, it actually rained here a bit a few days ago, and it kind of got a little cold. I don't know about you, I don't know about where... Can't do this. Isn't it kind of cold though? I don't know. I feel cold. I think I should put on another shirt or something so that way I'm not, freezing in the studio. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay. All right. I think we're ready to start the class. But before we start, I feel we should just hang out a little bit so we can talk. Feel free to ask any questions if you have them, and we'll get started with the actual lesson right at the top of the hour, as we always do. Let's see here. Small says, I just searched for this channel to check when you go live, and I got the notification as I pressed enter. But it's meant to be. You're supposed to be here, Small. The universe has willed it. Oh, hi, Billy. There was someone else on your stream earlier. Did he look kind of like me? Just different clothes? Might have been me. I'm not really sure. I don't remember. Just adjusting the microphone a bit. Okay. We're going to have a lesson today. Why does it show? We're going to have a lesson today about two topics that they're safe to learn as a beginner, but they're really more like in the intermediate level. They're topics you want to learn after you already know how to use the to grammar form. By that, I don't just mean the particle to, although you should know that too. But for example, like hada would become, like a verb with to could become he to. Like even if you do it, like 먹다 would be 먹어 to. Even if you eat something, 보다, 봐도. Even if you see something, even if you like that, even if you want to do that, whatever, that sort of even if meaning you should already have down before you start the lesson today, because you can express everything we're going to be expressing today with this form, although you lose the nuance of the forms we're going to be doing today. Literally, like as far as just meaning goes, you can express them with this in case you can't do this form today. Make sure you have this one down first. If you're okay with this, then you're ready for this form. You might still be a beginner, that's fine. But that's why I'd probably classify this as more like an intermediate form, just because some beginners might not have this form yet. Okay, let's see who else is here. The first person to comment was a sunny southpaw. Okay. Let's see who else is here. Any other questions before we get started? Someone's asking, is this Billy's brother? Oh, that's right. Yeah, Cosmet asked that. No, my brother has been on one of my brothers has been on the channel before. I actually did a series with him, several videos a few years ago. I think I said a few years ago. No, that was a long time ago. That was like 2019. Yeah, I think it was back 2019 because we stopped the series partially because of COVID and then we just never started it again. But yeah, I did a series teaching my younger brother Korean. That's on my channel. You can check out. 준비됐어요, says Miguel. Welcome. Cosma says, will you talk about how this one is different from torado and shirado? Yeah, we're not going to be comparing those forms. I actually compared those forms in a separate lesson when I taught them. This form is just, when you learn this form, you'll know already how it's different than the other ones. But this form is just, that can be expressed with any form like that as well. But the nuance is different. So basically, you don't need to learn the difference between those two forms, because once you learn this form, you'll already know, because they have different nuance. Lady Natbug says, hair is looking good. Thank you. Hello from Cuba. Hi from Sweden. Jongsby says, yoi. Okay, back to you. Hello from Seoul. Yeah, where's everyone watching from today? I'm always curious to know, where are people watching the stream from? And if you're just coming in here right now, if you're early or whatever, your first time, I always start the lessons right at the top of the hour after I turn on the stream. So we've still got about 20 minutes before the lesson starts. But if you have any questions you need to ask, especially if it's something unrelated to the lesson, now's a good time, or you can wait until after the lesson is over, which will be usually an hour or so after we start. Right now, though, just put in the chat where you're watching from. It's always different every time. We have a few regulars that come to like every stream, and then there are new people every time. Minnesota. Flo said, Billy didn't see my 안녕하세요. Oh no, I must have missed your 안녕하세요. Oh yeah, I do see. 안녕하세요, 여러분. You did say that. I had to scroll up to see it. Minnesota, England, Wisconsin, India, Michigan, Oregon, Namaste. Oh, that's not a country. UAE, United Arab Emirates? No, I'm confusing the airline with the country. Okay, I kind of know where you're talking about. Kai Led. Hey guys, looks like I'm not as late as I thought. Yeah, no, you're not late at all. You're early. You're very early. The San Fernando Valley. Nice. Not too far from me. Guadalajara, Mexico. Nice. Lake Mary, Florida. Watching from Alabama, Bahamas. Carla Evans is YouTubing from their tax haven right now. Hello, watching from Norway. Nice. Venezuela. Do you have a separate playlist or video that goes over Hangul? Yes, I do. I will, let me link that in the chat. Courses. Right there. The first, like 10 lessons are just about the alphabet. So you don't have to watch the whole course if you only want to learn the alphabet. But I recommend watching the whole course. It's all basic stuff. It's stuff like everyone should know. Nothing in there is less common or useless at all. It's like 100% useful stuff. So yeah, definitely check that course out first. By Lightus says, bonjour. Are you from the bonjour of Paris or the bonjour of Canada? Or you could be the bonjour of, doesn't like Madagascar use French too or something? Yeah, I know a lot of countries use French. Different versions. Oh, I see. You did say Paris. I missed that. Paris. Or Paris. Hani, welcome. Mohammed says, I'm up at 1 a.m. You need to go to bed. Korean is important, but your sleep is important too. So I hope I'm not messing up your sleep schedule. If you normally stay up this late, by all means, you're welcome to stick around. Elizabeth said, I always watch your videos and I must say that they are so helpful. Just had yesterday Topic 1, and if I did well, 40% was thanks to your lessons. Nice. Good luck. Hopefully that went well. In India, it's 2:14 a.m. 2:14? Is it? So it's 30 minutes? That's weird. Like it's not an hour. It's not the exact hour. Oh, that's right. Yeah, because I think some countries have like multiple times because they're so big. So they'll adjust it by like 30-minute increments or something like that. I remember hearing. Rebsky says, hello, I found your worksheets recently. They're incredible. Thank you. You're welcome. Oh, Lynn. Hey, long time no see. 안녕하세요. Welcome. Although not too long. I did see you, I think last month as well. If you haven't already gotten them all, I have now released all of my cheat sheets. They're free, and there are 12 of them. You can download them all right now. There are links on my channel to go to the posts, or you can go straight to my Patreon page to get them. They're all in the free Patreon tier. So you don't even need to be like, if you want to get the outlines and worksheets for these live streams, you have to be a paid member, but you don't even need to be a paid member to get these cheat sheets. These are all free. So there's a cheat sheet for all the post positions, like inside, outside, all that stuff. There's a new one for colors and variations of colors, as well as there's one telling the time, like vocab for that, how to make descriptive verbs and adjectives and action verbs and adjectives, Korean numbers and really high numbers and everything, counters, the most common counters, the entire Korean alphabet with tons of notes about it, most common markers and particles, dates and seasons, every single sound change rule, which is insane. They all fit on a single sheet of paper. Verb conjugation, all the verb conjugation rules for making the Yule form, including the exceptions to it. Yes, everything is here. These are like, I wish I had these when I was a beginner, because I put a lot of time into them, and they should help save you a lot of time with some of the more annoying aspects of Korean to remember, like conjugation rules and stuff like that. So yeah, they're all here. Again, 100% free. You can download all 12 of them if you want. I recommend getting all of them. And then there is a paid version which has like high definition versions if you want to like print it out on a poster. That's in the paid tier, but again, that's $1. So yeah, the free ones are right here. I'm holding in my hand, so get them. They're all released now. I might make some more in the future if there's enough interest, but right now that's all the ones that I've made. Let's see who else. Vahi says, side question, do you have any tips for getting over certain frustrations when parts of language learning gets difficult and makes it feel discouraging? I guess how to best combat that feeling. You're asking about motivation or frustration. I think the more you learn about your own language will help you to not feel frustrated about Korean. Now, Korean isn't difficult, but it is very time consuming. And sometimes people feel frustrated when they learn that, oh, this grammar form has the same meaning in English as this grammar form and this one. And well, there's like 10 words for this in Korean, and some things like that can make you frustrated. But if you learn more about your own language, especially English, you'll realize it's not a big deal. And if you don't feel intimidated by Korean, I feel like it's less frustrating. But one thing is you just want to make sure you're doing activities that help you enjoy using the language regularly. So listening to more shows, what got you into Korean in the first place? Do more of that. Just so that way you feel constantly kind of rewarded while you're learning. So it doesn't just feel like you're doing work every day. Some days it can feel like you're relaxing or enjoying your hobby normally. This answer, though, would take a lot longer if we went into detail about more specifics, but I'll just give you that for right now. The US also has multiple times. I know, but I mean like in 30-minute increments, okay? I know like we do it hours, although not everywhere. Some places don't do it. Carl says, this year I read Korean every day, but I still keep to myself, so I'm not progressing much, I think. Reading will not get your speaking much better. If you want to get better at speaking, you speak. If you want to get better at understanding, you listen. If you want to get better at reading, you read. It works like that. Now, it doesn't work like that in a vacuum. Your reading will slightly affect other skills as well. But if you're trying to get better at understanding, but you're reading, it's a different world. The Korean that's used in books is not the Korean that's used in speech, and vice versa. So you can be really good at speaking Korean, but not be able to read a book. And you can be really good at reading a book, but sound like a beginner when you speak. And I know people who are in both of those areas. So if you want to get better at, I guess, judge what is it that you want to see as progressing? Like, what does progressing mean to you? Are you judging it based on your speaking? Are you just judging it based on your reading? If you're judging it based on your reading and you're doing a ton of reading, you're going to see improvement. But if you're judging it based on, oh, I'm doing lots of reading, but I couldn't understand what that person said, that's not a good thing to compare because they're unrelated. I mean, they are related, but they're not directly related. That's what I wanted to say. LA 있어요, 지금. Oh, nice. Me too. John Z says, the cheat sheets are handy when you're traveling and want to study, but not take all your notebooks. Yes. Yeah, I made them so that you can review, but also learn from them. So I kind of kept that in mind. They're mainly used for review, but there's enough stuff in there I felt like if someone's focusing and using this, they could use it for learning too. I'm just being frustrated by thinking how to start and what to learn exact. I have only 4 months for my language exams. You can start the free course that I linked in the chat, as well as just go to my channel and search for the beginner Korean course. 4 months though is really nothing. I'll just be honest with you. If you are going from nothing and trying to learn Korean in 4 months, it is absolutely impossible to get to a conversational level in 4 months. No matter how smart you are, no matter how good at learning languages you are, no matter if you've learned other languages before, 4 months is too short. I've never met anyone who's learned to speak Korean to a conversational level in that short amount of time. 4 months, I would not focus on that. I would just focus on learning some basic, like start to learn, you can still do a lot in 4 months. Start to learn and focus on things you're actually going to be using in the country are going to be short phrases. Not so many questions, but more phrases. Because question, if you ask someone, where is the bathroom? You're not going to understand their answer. But you could memorize phrases like, please give me this, or I would like to do this, or please give me this and remove this. I want to find this. Please help me to do this. Like, how much is this? Like, and learn numbers, really basic questions that you can understand, but don't go into like, what do you think about this movie? Like, don't worry about that sort of stuff. You're not going to be able to understand the reply. Just start normally and focus on practical things for your trip. And instead spend that time to plan what you can do in Korea. I think you'll have a better trip if you spend those 4 months also thinking about where you're going to go, where you're going to stay, what are you going to do when you're there. That'll be more directly related to how much you enjoy your trip. Lynn says, the best practice I get is going to Korea and hair talking? Hair? Wait, am I reading this wrong? Hair talking to people? Does your hair... Is that a typo, or is it like getting your hair cut and talking to people while getting your hair cut? You can do that. I do that. Rebsky says, I found a Korean cafe in my hometown and spoke with the owners, but I'm really nervous because I don't want to accidentally come across as rude. They're not going to think you're being rude if they clearly know that you're a beginner. No one is going to think you're being rude. They're going to know that you're learning Korean. I would still, however, avoid using the word no to say you. Even if you're learning, it just rubs a lot of people the wrong way. Even if they know you're a brand new beginner, they're going to feel weird if you use no to them. So don't use no. Other than that, even if you accidentally use casual speech, they're not really going to care because they'll know that you're learning. They might even correct you. They're like, oh, don't say that. Say it like this. But they're not going to get offended. They'll know right away that you're still learning. So don't worry about that so much. When you have conversations in Korean, though, that's when you really need to learn it, because if they think this person speaks Korean but is choosing not to speak politely, that would be rude. But if they think, oh, this person doesn't speak Korean much yet, there's pretty much nothing you can say that's going to be rude, like I said, except for no, which is a bit grating in the wrong situations. Kat says, I bought your second book, but I'm wondering if it's worth getting the first because I read a sample talking about how you chose to use a different ending to begin with. The first one, you actually don't need to worry about that because the end of the first chapter the first book has all of the conversations rewritten using the not casual, but the more informal, the Yule form as well. So it doesn't really matter. I teach it the other way around because in the very beginning, it doesn't matter what you say anyway. And it's easier to learn those rules for conjugation. And because the book starts off with a lot of extra sections about sound change rules. So I felt like if the learner is using this book and they're learning the alphabet and they go through these sound change rules and they finally start learning Korean, and the first thing that they hear is, all right, now let's learn how to conjugate. Here's 50 more rules. Then they're going to want to give up right away. So I thought, okay, let's ease them into this. Let's start them out with formal speech, which is you're going to be polite no matter what you say. You're not going to be rude. Pretty much in any situation, you're going to sound okay. So let's start with that. But then later in the book, you do get to the Yule form as well. And then it goes back and gives you all the conversations again. So you're not really losing it. You're not really losing anything if you start with that. Oh, Lynn says just talking. Okay. Just talking to people. Yeah. Just talking to people is like the best sort of practice you can get in Korea. Just talking, because you get listening practice and you get speaking practice at the same time. And you get to see their You see their body language. You get to get context for everything. You get to get live feedback on what you're saying, if it's correct or not. So it's a really good way to practice. No glasses on. Okay. You also can get your haircut in Korea and talk with the person. They do that in Korea too. Like I'll get my hair cut. You know, I'm sitting down in the chair and they start cutting my hair and they're like, hey, so where are you from? And that's how it starts. Always. Oh, how come you speak Korean? Oh, your Korean's really good. Oh, do you live here? You know, all this stuff. You just have the conversation every time. And when you're done, you have like 20, 30 minutes of speaking conversation, or maybe less if they don't want to talk. And yeah, it's like you pay $10 for the haircut and you get like 20 minutes of speaking practice. So it's not a bad deal. And you get your haircut too. And they do a really good job, I found, in Korea. Like the average haircut in Korea is really good. I've had an okay haircut in Korea, but in the US, I feel like it's different. In the US, you have to like pay for a good haircut, right? If you go to some of the cheaper places, you might walk out and not really like your haircut very much. But in Korea, I found like, even if I go to the really cheap places, I always still like my haircut. They just kind of, maybe they care more. I don't know. Anyway, it's cheaper at least. Maddie says, how would a rhetorical question like, is there any person who understands it all? There are lots of, you just ask it as a question. Like, you don't need to use a rhetorical question form necessarily. They do have a question form that's used for writing that you could use like that. But I think in general, you just want to use the 가요, like could there be? 있을까요? 있을까? If you want to ask it to yourself. I think 가요 is going to be your simplest way to do that. You just say, 없을까요? Could there not be something, like what kind of 사람, for example? 그런 사람이 없을까요? 그런 사람이 있을까요? Could there be? I don't think there is, like that. But you would just ask, could there be? And learn a lot of slang, which is ubiquitous. And yes, I've had my hair cut in Korea, but I go to a special salon for curly hair, so it's not too cheap. Okay. I feel like if you go to smaller hair shops, so like not a chain, but just someone's doing their own hair shop, you can get exactly what you need for an even cheaper price. But the boutiques, like the really nice ones that have like brand names and, you know, they have branding on them and everything, you make an appointment and stuff like that. Those ones can be quite expensive because they're kind of tailored to give you the same experience every time. But if you just go to a regular person, has like a lot of people just have their own hair place in Korea. Talk with them, ask them if they do your kind of hair. Great. It's going to be cheaper than there. MC says, I always have nice conversations with cafe staff in Korea. Yes, they're always so kind and curious why one studies Korean or why one visits Korea. Yeah, I feel like cafe people are... Also, you can have really short conversations that obviously don't take up too much of their time. They're probably busy. But if they ask you a question first, yeah, feel free. Beautiful Life says, 미국 사람입니다. Nice. I am an American. I'm an American too. 저도 미국 사람입니다. I'm actually going to be making some new videos coming up. One of the videos I'm going to be making is how to use the 니다 form. And you used it very well. I think a lot of people avoid the 니다 form because they think it's formal, and it is, but it's not only used in formal situations. So I'm making a video about that as well. Okay, we'll start the lesson in just 1 minute. Korea with kids. Hey, I had some great conversations with taxi drivers. Yeah, I've had a mixed bag with taxi drivers. It's always a conversation though. Sometimes it'll be like they're upset that I'm going so far, because what I do is I'll go to Korea and I'll take a taxi from my one apartment to the other when I move, when I like bring my stuff around. So it'll be like an hour-long taxi. And sometimes I've had the taxi drivers where they complain about it. They're like, oh, I don't want to go this far. And they're just talking they keep talking the whole trip, asking questions, but I can tell they're not really in a good mood. And other ones, they're like, oh, this is great. I get, extra money and I get to not have to worry about customers for like an hour and a half or something. And they just want to talk about whatever. They want to know about the US. They want to talk about Korean politics or whatever. So I've had a lot of interesting conversations with taxi drivers. It's never boring. Every time I get into the taxi when I'm doing one of my longer trips, it's like, what are they going to talk about this time? It's never like, is this going to be a quiet taxi? I never have like completely quiet taxis when they go that long. It's always something. Okay, we'll get started with the lesson just in a second. Mohammed said, am I the only one with trust issues with haircutters because I'm a girl, and when I was a kid, the haircutter gave me a boy cut instead of a trim? I mean, you can get a bad haircut anywhere from anyone, but I found the overwhelming majority of my haircuts in Korea I've been really happy with. I have had a few where it's like they didn't cut it completely straight, but pretty much they've all been really good. And you don't really have to look at you don't have to go to expensive places to get a good haircut. Unless, like I said, unless you want to get like something really specific, you can do it really quick and they do a good job. Okay, so let's get started with the lesson. We're going to be learning two forms today that are both used for the same purpose. And the first one we're going to learn is na mana. So what is this form? Well, first of all, you can use this form with both action verbs and descriptive verbs. And when you conjugate it though, because it has this letter, nian, there are a lot of grammar forms that have this letter, nian, that have exceptions when you use certain verbs before them. For example, if you have a verb that ends with this letter, piup, then you're going to remove it most of the time and attach u when you're working with any grammar form. So you would get, for example, 덥다 to be hot, you'd get 더 우 나마나, like that. Or if you have a verb that ends with this letter, lir, you will remove it. So 살다, to live, would be 사 나마나. So there are going to be some exceptions whenever you have any grammar form that starts with that letter, but it's going to be the same for every grammar form like that. So you don't really have to memorize them individually for this form. I'm just letting you know that they also exist here. Okay, so what does this form mean? Well, it means basically even if. So if you use this with an action verb, it's even if you do something. If you use it with a descriptive verb, it means even if you are something. Like 덥다, to be hot, even if it's hot, right? Or even if you go to Korea. So any verb like that is fine. But more specifically, although it kind of literally means even if, a better translation for this is no matter. So if we use the verb 하다, to do, ha ends in a consonant, so we're going to attach 나마나. Oh, I didn't say this. If it ends in a consonant, you're going to attach 으나마나, and if it ends in a vowel, you're going to attach 나마나. So if we have 하다, we're going to get 하 나마나, no matter if you 하다, to do. So no matter if you do something. Or 먹다, to eat, 먹으나마나. So no matter if you eat that. By no matter, this has an implication. No matter means that something is no use, or you shouldn't bother, or that it doesn't matter. I'm going to write those up. Not here. There's no space here. What am I doing? Let's see. Sure, I'll try here. I feel like my Korean writing is even nicer than my English writing. It's just, my writing's just not nice. Okay. So it means, so it implies that something is no use. Like no matter if you do it, it's no use. Or maybe you shouldn't bother. Or, no matter if the weather's hot, well, it doesn't matter. No matter if you go somewhere, it doesn't matter. So that's what it's used to imply, that it's no use or you shouldn't bother with something or that it doesn't even matter. Okay, I'll leave this up for a second. Then I'm going to tell you where this all came from, because it's not just a random form. It has an origin story that will need a 3-hour-long movie to completely dive into and 2 sequels. Okay, let's see. Oh, hey, Hopegate. It's going to give you a minute, everyone, to write this down. Kind of catch your breath. 어제 작은 한식 음식점에 갔고 웨이터님이 작은 실수를 했어요. 사장님이 웨이터에게 실수를 한국어로 설명해서 저도 무슨 일이 일어났는지 이해할 수 있었어요. Okay. Karen says, I'm trying to learn Korean, but in English because it's in Spanish. That's my native language. It seems a bit more confusing when it comes to the sounds. Okay. 하나마나 한 말이에요. 한국에 가나마나. Yeah. Anyone got the Muppet song? Which Muppet song? Which Muppet song? Tell me. Did I reference a Muppet song and not even know it? Is that possible? I know all the Muppet songs. Ah, mana, do. That one? Wasn't that like Sandra Bullock or something on the original Muppet Show that sang that? I remember. Mana, do. Na. Yeah, close enough. Oh, hey, Lexica. Lexica, I have no space here, so I'm going to write. Lexica, thank you. There's barely any space for you, but you go right here. See if I can fix the L. I kind of made it worse, but that works. Happy minute 7. Mana. I still think they need to make, when they release Dune 3, they need to release alongside it Muppet Dune, which is one movie that has all 3 storylines compressed together into an hour and a half. Like, you know, just the important stuff. I think they need to do that. They need to start doing Muppet parodies of popular movies. So we need a Muppet. Yeah, we need a Muppet Dune. We also need a Muppet Lord of the Rings, I feel like that's missing out. And get the original cast to do it too. Like, get the actors in Dune also to reprise their roles in Muppet Dune. What else could we get? I feel like a Muppet. You get a lot of movies. Any other good ideas? Okay. So this form has an origin story. This form originally comes from 2 parts. It comes from the form na, which is similar to saying 든지. Basically, whether you do something or not is what it means. So this na by itself already has the meaning of this, although this form is not used by itself to mean that. This form is used, though, in the particle ina. The particle ina is actually from the verb ida and this grammar form here. So ida to be. So whether it is, and that's the grammar form ina, where you put ina after something, like 사과나 먹을 거야. Like, I'm going to eat an apple or something. It doesn't matter. It's kind of what it implies. 이거나 그거나. So this grammar form does appear in a few places, but you don't use it by itself. However, it's that form plus mana, which also uses that same grammar form I said with una, but it does it with the verb 말다. Remember how I said if it ends with a liel, you remove it. So 말다 becomes mana. But what is 말다? Well, this is actually commonly used. You probably know this from the form 지 말다, like 하지 마, 하지 마세요. This is the form, this is the verb where all that comes from. And 말다 means to stop something, like to stop doing it, or to not do something. So if we look at that and say, so if una by itself means like whether you do something, kind of like 든지 or 든, and 말다 means to stop or not do something, then you literally get the meaning of whether you do something or you don't. Whether you do something, whether you don't, is what you get. So this is just a more emphatic way to say whether you do something or not. And by saying that, it implies that it's no use, it doesn't matter, you shouldn't bother. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. That's the origin story. So you're not just learning this as this equals this. You're learning it as why it equals that, why it has that connotation. All by itself, it already has that connotation in it. Built in. Muppet Haunted Mansion. Didn't they do, they did that at Disneyland, right? I didn't go to it, but I think they did or was it, no, it wasn't Muppet. It was Nightmare Before Christmas. They had that the renovation that they did there, I remember. Muppet Lord of the Rings, and the only human actor is Elijah Wood. No, you wouldn't only do Elijah Wood. You can't do a Muppet movie with one human actor. You need multiple human actors, but you don't have a lot. So you'd put Elijah Wood, he would be Frodo. You would have to get a couple others. I could think of the cast, but I need a second. I think you could also get, or you know what? Who would be Gollum? Would they get the drummer, the animal? Would they get animal to be Gollum? I'm not really sure who they do. Anyway, okay. Muppet Lost in Space. Yeah, that was okay. I feel like that was the last one besides the other Muppets that came. Oh no, they did release another one. I didn't see like a few years ago. Okay. Yeah, Gandalf. That's the thing. They can't recast. They can't put too many actors in it. It has to have some original. Maybe Aragorn would be safe. They can get the Aragorn, Viggo Mortensen, right? I can't remember his name for sure. Yeah, they can get him as Aragorn. I think they can get a couple actors in there for real, but everyone else needs to be Muppets. Okay. So that's what this form is, and that's how it's used. So let me give you a few example sentences. Okay. 안경을 쓰다 is to wear glasses. So 안경을 쓰나 마나. So whether you use glasses or not is what this implies. And that is going to be followed by always something that means like it doesn't matter or it's no use or you shouldn't bother. It's always going to have that sort of ending because that's what this form already implies. Whether you do something or not. Whether something is or isn't. 너무 멀다, to be too far, far away. So it's too far away, therefore, 멀어서 안 보이다, to not be seen. It's not visible. This is how you would say you can't see it. Not that you physically cannot see it, but that it's not seen. You can't see it. So you can't see it because it's too far. So whether you wear glasses or not, it doesn't matter because it's too far away, so you can't see it. 안경을 쓰나 마나 너무 멀어서 안 보여요. So whether I wear glasses or not, it's too far away, so I can't see it. Now, I'll leave this up just for a little bit. I have a few more sentences. We have a lot of sentences today. Actually, I think I have 8 sentences total to share. C82 says, I'm watching your beginner Korean playlist and literally writing down all your blue screen. No, you can take notes on everything. That's fine. We need Charsu in a simple sentence. Okay. Sure. I'll make your wish come true. But I'm not going to write it in red. Okay. 철수는, so our friend 철수, 보나 마나. 보나 마나, from 보다, to see. So whether you see or not, literally yes, whether you look or not. Okay, we'll get back to that. 또, again, 게임 하고 있을 거야. 게임하다, to play games. 하고 있다, is playing games. 있을 거야, will be playing games. Again. So 철수는 보나 마나 또 게임하고 있을 거야. So 철수 will be playing games again. 보나 마나, whether you look or don't look, is what it literally means. This is actually used as an idiomatic expression to mean something is obvious. 보나 마나, it's obvious that 철수 is going to be playing games again. Yeah, you know 철수, it's obvious that he's just going to be playing games again. 보나 마나, again, literally, whether you look or not. So whether you're going to see it or you don't see it, you don't have to because it's so obvious. You don't have to even look, right? That's what it means. So just know that 보나 마나 is used to mean that something's very obvious. Like obviously, you can just write this down as a separate word. 보나 마나. Okay. 철수는 보나 마나 또 게임하고 있을 거야. So 철수 is obviously just going to be playing games again. Okay, I'll leave this up for a second. I didn't think you were going to take it serious. Oh yeah, 철수 is a topic we take very seriously in this live stream, just so you know. Because I don't want to get sued by the 철수 Foundation. One of these days, I'll do a collab video with 철수. Actually, let's change this a little bit. 할 수가 없어요. Okay. 물건 is a item or a product, like an object, a thing. 물건이 좋으나 많아. So, 좋다, to be good. So whether it's good or not, doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter if the item's good or not. 파는 곳, 팔다 is to sell. So 파는 곳, a place that sells it. 없으면, so if there is nowhere, no place that sells it, it doesn't matter if the item's good or not. 사다 is to buy. 살 수가 없어요. You can't buy it if there's nowhere that sells it, regardless of whether the item is good or not. 물건이 좋으나 많아 파는 곳이 없으면 살 수가 없어요. So whether that item is good or not, if nowhere sells it, then you can't buy it. Obviously. 물건이 좋으나 많아 파는 곳이 없으면 살 수가 없어요. Doesn't matter if the item's good or not. If nowhere is even selling it, then you can't buy it. Did everyone hear about, like, I guess they're going to be pricing Nintendo Switch games at like $80 or something like that? Is that true? I just read like an article title, something about like Mario's gonna be like $80. I mean, I don't have any video game systems, so I'm not really part of the conversation. I just heard that. I'm like, wow, that's expensive. And you also have to pay for the Switch Online on top of that too. So like, why? I haven't owned a gaming system though since PlayStation 2, and that one I didn't even own it. It was my younger brother's. The last one that I partially owned was Nintendo 64 because I think all of us siblings, we pitched in a little bit to own that at the time. Is it for digital too? That's insane. Just get a PC. Games are like $5. Free internet. It's ridiculous. Tariffs, is that from the tariffs as well? That's so ridiculous. Everything's getting messed up. Okay, yeah, until Jeremy wants Mario Kart. Jeremy doesn't have to know Mario Kart exists. He never has to know. Switch? What's that? Is that like on your room on the lights? Yeah, I'll get you one of those. I mean, you have one, but okay. I mean, he knows there's a Switch 2, but that's all. He asked me today, actually, Daddy, how much will the Switch 2 cost? And I'm like, I don't know, like $500. And he's like, ugh. So we'll see. Okay. I'm writing a little bit too fast. Let me slow down a little bit. Although, to be honest, if I write slower, it doesn't make a huge difference. Partially, I just write quickly so it hides the fact that my writing's bad even when I go slowly. It's the same in English. I can write really fast in English, though, to cover it, so no one will ever know until I tell you. Okay, can you finish this sentence? 바람이 안 불어서, 바람이 불다 is to be windy, literally wind blows. So if 바람이 안 불어서, because it's not windy, 창문 is window, 창문을 열다, to open the window. So in this case, it ends with a lir, so you remove it. Instead of 열나마나, you get 열나마나. So whether you open the window or not, how would you end this sentence? Now, I can think of one obvious way to end it. Are there any other ways? If not, can you give me that one way to end it? Can you think of, how would you end this sentence? You can distract him with Minecraft books. Yeah, I could buy him so many Minecraft books for $450 or $500 or whatever, plus $80 per game. Still have my N64, it still works. Yeah, my brother is the custodian of our family Nintendo 64 right now. He says it also still works fine. We have a lot of games for it. We have like Zelda, of course, GoldenEye, that's the standard game. Mario, I don't even think I don't think we have Mario. I don't know if we ever owned that. Quest 64, which is, I'm sorry if you're a fan, that was the worst game I've ever played. It's the only game that's ever given me a headache to play it. And it wasn't just because of the poorly implemented 3D camera. Something else about maybe the music. Anyway, a few other games like that for Nintendo 64. Okay, I see some answers. 아직 더울 거예요. 뜨거워요. Okay. 아직 더울 거예요. Note, Sunny Southpaw, a note about 뜨겁다. Now, 뜨겁다 actually, okay, it doesn't. It actually doesn't mean the weather is hot. It doesn't mean feels hot as in the air. What it means is something is hot to the touch. So like coffee is hot. Like the stove is 뜨겁다, right? Coffee is 뜨겁다. But if you are talking about weather that's really hot and like humid, then they can kind of jokingly use 뜨겁다. It's not jokingly, but kind of like sarcastically use 뜨겁다 to refer to the weather as well. Like it actually feels hot to the touch. It's so hot. 너무 뜨거워. 진짜 뜨겁다. But normally that's not how you would say it. It would still just be 덥다 for the weather. 시원. Oh, so if you have a, Keith, if you have a Korean verb that has 하다 attached, but it's not an action. So if it's just a description, you can't actually separate the 하다 away. So like, for example, 피곤하다 is not, you're not doing 피곤, it is, you're being tired. In that case, you can't say 피곤 안 해요. You have to say 피곤하지 않아요. Or you could say 안 피곤해요, but you wouldn't separate it unless it's an action. Okay. So yeah, there are a lot of things you can say. The simplest one you can say is 더워요. So, 바람이 안 불어서, 바람이 불다, to be windy, 안 불어서, because it's not windy, 창문, window, 열다, to open, in this case, 여나 마나, whether you open the window or not, because it's not windy, 더워요, it's hot. 바람이 안 불어서, 창문을 여나 마나, 더워요. So, since it's not windy, no matter if you open the window or not, it's hot. It's kind of true. If you don't have any airflow and it's hot, it's not going to help if you open the window. It's kind of like if you're in a room and it's hot and someone turns on a fan, it's just blowing the hot air into your face. Doesn't help at all. Now, if you put a ceiling fan and you turn it to the direction where it'll pull the air up, that can kind of help a little bit to get the room cooler, since it helps the hot air rise. Oh, but you didn't know that. If you have a ceiling fan, it has a setting to change the direction of the fan. It's usually a little switch. There's like a little switch that's kind of hiding on the fan, and that'll switch the direction that the blades will spin. And it does matter, because one of them will blow the air down and the other one will suck the air up. And if you do suck the air up and it's hot, it'll help the hot air rise a little bit better. So it'll keep you cooler than just blowing it all back down to you, which is good when it's cold. You can have it kind of blow the warm air to circulate it better. Anyway, just your little unrelated fact for today. Okay. The next form we have works a little bit differently. Okay, that form is 받자. And the way it works is you actually conjugate a verb. So you're going to be attaching like a or o, etc. Like 하다 would become 해, 먹다 becomes 먹어, like that. So you conjugate a verb the same way you would to the 요 form. You don't attach 요도, and instead you attach 받자. So 하다, again, I said it becomes 해, so you get 해 받자. 덥다, to be hot, again, you conjugate it as 더워, right? 더워 받자. That's it. So it conjugates differently. The other one, we just attached 으나 마나 after a stem. This time you actually have to conjugate the verb. This one can also be used with both action verbs and descriptive verbs. And this one also means no matter if, and it implies that something's no use, or you shouldn't bother, or that it doesn't matter. So it has the same meaning and the same nuance as 으나 마나. So you can use either one. That's it. That's all you need to know. If I have to really squeeze out a difference, I would say that 으나 마나 sounds a little bit more formal if I have to compare them. But it's not like one of them's formal and one of them's casual. They're both good. You can use either one. So yeah, that's it. But we're going to do some more example sentences. So let me just leave this here for a second. Which one's used more? 받자, maybe. Because of that, the 으나 마나 has slightly more of like a formal-ish, like a proper feeling to it. Because the 으나 마나, as I said, it has the form whether you do something or not. So it's very straightforward. Whereas 받자 is like, even if you do it and it implies after that, it doesn't matter. But it doesn't have that extra meaning of like whether you do it or not. So it's a little bit less long, and usually shorter things tend to get used more commonly, just in general and in every language. Shorter expressions, shorter conjugations get used a little bit more. But use both. You're going to see both used. Okay. 아무리. 아무리 is used together with other grammar forms that mean even if. So like 아무리 해도, 아무리, anything like that. And it's just used to add more emphasis to the meaning of even. So 아무리 비싸봤자. In this case, 비싸다 is to be expensive. 비싸다 conjugates as 비싸봤자. So no matter how expensive it is, again, 아무리 is just adding more emphasis to that. No matter how, meaning you can remove it. 저것, that thing, 만큼, as much as that, 비싸진 않을 거예요. It will not be as expensive as that. No matter how expensive it is, it's not going to be as expensive as that. 아무리 비싸봤자 저것만큼 비싸진 않을 거예요. So no matter how expensive it is, it's not going to be as expensive as that, is what you get. I'll leave this up for just a minute. Then I have a few more sentences with this. 아무리 비싸봤자 저것만큼 비싸진 않을 거예요. Okay. And again, if you don't want to write down these sentences, you can also get them from my Patreon page. I put up all of the outlines, every outline for every lesson I've ever done since 2018. Yes, since 2018, they're all available on my Patreon page. You just have to sign up, and there are links. There's like a Google document you can find as well with links to every single one of them, as well as worksheets. Now, the worksheets will have an extra like 6 to 10 example sentences. Usually they'll be a little bit too difficult to include in the live stream, but you can get more practice that way as well. And those are also included in the same Patreon tier, in case you don't want to write everything down. Okay. How would you end this sentence? 맛있어 봤자. 맛있어요. It tastes good. 맛있어 봤자. 배가 부르다 is to be full. 배가 불러서, because I am full. How would you finish this sentence? I'm not going to do any more translation beyond that. How might you finish this sentence? 맛있어 봤자 배가 불러서. Scrambled eggs on toast. Small typo with the 비싸. It's the 사, not just 사. 비싸지는 is the same as 비싸진. Yes, it's just a shorter version. Totally same. Yes. 안 먹을 거예요. 더 이상 못 먹어요. There might be something else we can do too, but these work. 먹지 않아요. 먹기 어려워요. 하나도 못 먹어요. 먹어요. Sunny Southpaw, you probably wouldn't say. So what we get is, even if it's delicious, because I'm full, how would you end the sentence? Lil Yazzie is asking, is patja a separate word or does it get added? It is a separate word, so you're supposed to space it. You might see Koreans, though, doing all sorts of things with spacing, but it's supposed to be a separate word. 맛있어봤자 배불러서 더 이상 마시지 않으면 돼요. Patreon and YouTube member is the same? No, they're different. YouTube members get benefits here on YouTube. So YouTube members, like people whose names are in green, such as Keith, 그냥 바라봐요. They get to watch these abridged videos. So the abridged versions of all these live streams the same night that they go up. So tonight you'll get to watch this lesson today in like 10 minutes. It'll be a shortened version. You also get to use little special emoticons that other people can't use. And there are also sometimes members only posts that I'll release as well. Sometimes there will be videos that go up a little earlier for members to watch. And then Patreon is different. Patreon, you get the outlines and worksheets. You can get to participate in the polls when I have like polls for next videos to make or like K-pop groups to do. Those are on Patreon. If you want to watch all of my videos in advance, those are also on Patreon as well. There is my vocabulary book. No, sorry, not vocabulary book. Vocabulary deck on Patreon, as well as all of the cheat sheets are on Patreon. And a lot of stuff on there is also free. So you don't necessarily have to pay. They're two different things. I would have set them up the same way, but when Patreon first started out, YouTube didn't even have a paid membership. So I put everything there, and then YouTube opened up. I'm like, okay, sure, I'll put something on here too. But yeah, they're different. Okay, so I'm going to end the sentence like this. 맛있어 봤자. 맛있어. Tastes good. 맛있어 봤자. No matter if it tastes good. Even if it tastes good, it doesn't matter, right? Why? 배가 불러서. Because I am full. 배가 부르다 is to be full. 더, more, 못 먹어요. I can't eat any more because I'm full. Even if it's good. 맛있어 봤자. 배가 불러서 더 못 먹어요. So even if it's delicious, no matter if it's delicious, I'm so full that I can't eat any more. 맛있어 봤자. 배가 불러서 더 못 먹어요. Okay. 영화, movie. 영화가 길어봤자. 길다 is to be long. So even if the movie's really long, 영화가 길어봤자. No matter if the movie's long, 3시간보다는, 3시간 is 3 hours, 보다는 is more than. 짧다 is to be short. 짧겠죠? So even if the movie's long, it's not going to be more than 3 hours. 영화가 길어봤자 3시간보다는 짧겠죠? So even if the movie's long, it'll be shorter than 3 hours. Unless it's Return of the King. I think that was over 3 hours, right? Yeah, I think that the movie was like over 3 hours. I'm trying to think what other movies were over like 3 hours that I watched. Was Dune 2 more than 3 hours? It didn't feel like it. I don't think so. I think it was closer, like under 3 hours. Wasn't there like one of the Avengers movies that was over 3 hours? Anyway. How might you end this sentence? 길이 막히다 is to be have lots of traffic. So the roads are blocked is what it literally means. But it means just there's traffic. Because there's traffic, 택시를 타봤자. So even if you take a taxi, what do you think you could finish the sentence with? There might be a few other answers I'm not thinking. Oh, hey, Flo Purdy. Hey, Flo. Thank you, Flo. Let's see what you wrote. Oops. Missed the bottom of the hour. Donation for the artwork and audio fund for the new book. Thank you. The audio is not done yet. So I have to commission that, but I did find a person to do it, which is good. Hopefully that'll work out. And the cover is done. I finished the artwork now. Just a few days ago, I got the final version of the artwork for the book. I can't show it to you because it's on my computer. I don't have the file. I don't have it printed. But it looks cool. It's got me and a girl. We're solving a jigsaw puzzle with a Keycat wearing a hanbok. So it's kind of cute. But anyway, yeah. So that'll be the cover of the new book that's coming out. Korean Sentences Made Simple. And yeah, the cover's all ready, but now I have to finish up the actual book and then I have to film it, which will probably be done sometime 3 weeks from now. I'll be filming it. And then editing it after that, and I have to also film a bunch of other stuff. So I don't know if I'm even able to finish it before I go to Korea, but it's progressing well. Thank you. Okay, let's see what everyone wrote. Avatar. Was Avatar over 3 hours? I feel like, okay, I watched Avatar, the first one, once in theaters. It was spectacular, but I never felt like I needed to watch it again. Like, I got it. Avatar 2, I also watched it in 3D, and it was spectacular. It was even better than the first one. Made the first one look like a tech demo. It was so good. And I don't need to watch it again. It was really good, though. But I don't feel like it was that long. It didn't feel like crazy long. I mean, it was entertaining, so I guess that's good, right? If it's boring, then a 3-hour movie feels like forever. Okay, Keith says 늦을 거예요. Yeah, 아직도 늦을 거예요. 빨리 도착할 수가 없어요. 늦을 거예요. 아직 늦을 거예요. 약속 시간에 늦을 거예요. 시간대로 도착 못해요. Oh, you're trying to say in time. There's a few other ways you can say it. 제 시간 is the most basic one. 제 시간에 means on time. You can say like 제 시간에 도착하다, to arrive on time. That might be the, well, that's loud. That might be the word you want. Okay, let's see what else we got. 지각할 거예요. Nice. Yeah, you can say 지각하다. Is there a new book? No, there's not a new book yet, Small, but there's a new book that's been in the works since the beginning of this year, since the beginning of January. I've been planning it from before then. I was planning 4 courses at the same time because I couldn't decide which one to make, and I knew eventually I wanted to make all of them anyway. So I planned 4, and then I put up a vote on my channel. Which course do you want to see first? Now, at that point, I only had outlines for all these 4 courses. I didn't have lessons written, just the outlines. And most people picked that they wanted a course that covers sentence connectors. So that took a lot of time. I wrote it all, but I'm still going back and I'm editing it, making the book version, and adding lots and lots of sentences. Every form is going to have about like 6, maybe a little more depending on the form. 6 to 10, I'll just say, example sentences for every form. And there's like literally every sentence connector you could possibly think of. There's over 100. There's a lot. I didn't count it yet, but there's a lot. And that's why it's taking so long. So I'm not even sure I'll be able to finish the first episode before I leave to Korea, which will be the very beginning of next month. I'll be in Korea. So we'll see. Okay. But yeah, you'll start to see that course coming out. I want to say, let me rewrite this letter. I want to say you'll start seeing it the end of next month. So that'll be like right before I go to Korea, like probably a few days before I go to Korea or something like that. You'll start to see that course. There will also be a book released, but unlike the last course where the book had an extra 5 lessons, this one is not. This one's the same as the free course, but it has a couple extra example sentences for each form. So if you like the course, you feel like I just want a few more examples for each one, then get the book. But other than that, it's the same information. Oh, it also does have a few useful things. It'll have a glossary, which the video course doesn't. And it also will have a table of contents, which lists everything so you can find it, which will be easier than the videos, since the videos, you don't really know. You have to kind of scroll around to find the stuff you want. Okay. 길이 막히다 is to be crowded on the roads. 길이 막히다 is when the roads are crowded, so there's a lot of traffic. So because there's traffic, 택시, a taxi, 타다, to ride a taxi, 택시를 타봤자. Even if you take a taxi, because there's traffic, 늦다 is to be late, 늦을 거예요. You're going to be late, even if you take a taxi because there's a lot of traffic. 길이 막혀서 택시를 타봤자 늦을 거예요. So there's traffic, so even if you take a taxi, you're going to be late. I'll leave this up for just a few seconds. Isha says, I want to say thanks for making your lessons free and complete. You're welcome. 시간대로 도착 못해요. Someone says. Does that mean we'll also get a book on onomatopoeia? I would like that. I have an outline ready to go for an onomatopoeia course as well as okay, I said 4, but that was a lie. Actually, I had 6. But 4 that were like outlined enough that I could actually present that I have the course ready to go. But I have a few other ideas for courses. So we'll see what people want next time. Maybe next year, after this course is all done, maybe next year I'll do another course. I would like to, as well as a book. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know what people will want. This time, most people wanted the sentence connectors. Maybe next time they'll want, I have another course idea for filler words. I wrote a lot of outline for that as well, like tons and tons of filler words and how to use them. Another course for onomatopoeia as well. Another course for hanja. Yes, a hanja course. I wrote that as well. And let's see what else. I can't think of them right now. I had a few other courses as well for like outlines I'd written for those. As well as sequels to other courses, like another conversation course or another Korean Made Simple book, stuff like that. I have some other ideas for that too, but we'll see. Okay, so and that is the lesson for today. Thank you for coming. Let me do a quick thumbnail and then I'm going to take some questions. That'll be the thumbnail, I guess. It's not a great thumbnail, but that'll work. Okay, now I can take questions. You can ask questions about the lesson or about anything you want related to Korean or Korea. And I'll stick around here for, oh my goodness. We done? No. Am I done? Is the lesson over and it's only 2:46? I've never had a lesson go this short before. How did that? We had 8 sentences. How did I finish in 45? I guess it's because the explanation was so simple because they both had the same explanation. Still though, that's really fast. Yeah, I'll stick around for like 45 minutes then. Cool. I'll stay until 3:30. So 45 minutes from now, I'll turn off the stream. You're welcome to ask questions now. Yeah, I know. I didn't even realize. Kat says, wait, what? Kat says, I think I just PayPal'd you. Let me check. I don't have my PayPal open normally, so if you do donate that way, you have to let me know. Okay, let's see. Wait, is that you? I won't read your email address. Thanks for the class. Is that you, Kat? Thank you. I just got a $10 donation. 감사합니다. Husband's account. Okay. I was like, the name doesn't match, but you know what? I'm not going to judge. If you want to have a man's name, but your nickname's Kat, like I'm cool with that. We can be cool here. Thank you. Saturi class. Yeah. So I also, this isn't one of the courses that I was talking about. This is another one. I did think about doing a Saturi course before. Now, I'm not an expert on Saturi because I lived in Busan for a while, but that's only one of the dialects. It's one part of one of the dialects in Korea. And that was like 20 years ago when I was first learning Korean. That's not like I'm a master at Busan dialect because I lived there for a while. No, the dialect that I know, I've had to research myself. So I study it. I look at articles. I compare articles because there's so much wrong information about dialects out there. And I directly ask people. And when possible, I directly go to the dialects organization. Like some of the dialects, they'll have actually like centers for the dialect in their areas that they work to kind of record it and help preserve it. Jeju-do is a good example of that. I actually went directly to the source and asked them for help with my script. So that's what I would have to do in order to get it accurate. I don't just want to say, this is from this area, because it's really common that it's not. A lot of the dialect videos I've seen will say, this dialect is from this area, and it's actually not. It's actually from a different area, but the dialects are kind of fluid, so you might hear different parts in different areas. So if I actually wanted to do a course, it would take a lot of research, and I realized there aren't enough people that want that sort of thing, so I didn't do it. It would have taken so much work to do for every single area. But anyway, maybe someday it's possible. There is, if you do want just an overview of dialects, in my 3rd Korean Made Simple book, oh, I got a donation. In my 3rd Korean Made Simple book at the end, there is a appendix, a few pages that have kind of quick summaries of just like the major features of each of the dialects, if you kind of want a quick introduction to them. But if you want more detailed information, that would take a lot of work. And I've done a video on Busan, Jeju dialect, as well as North Korean, but I haven't done any other of the dialects yet. Oh, Hope Gate. Thank you, Hope Gate. You wrote, I prefer the video format, so I probably won't be buying the book. No problem. That's why I have both options. But can you consider this a pre-sale? But you can consider this a pre-sale for the Sentence Connectors course. Thank you. I mean, it's going to be free, but thanks. Yeah, the Sentence Connector course, like I said, the book this time is going to be the same lessons as the video course. And if you don't have the book, you're not really missing out. I'll say that, even though it might affect my sales, because what I do is when I come up with the sentences, we always get way more sentences than we actually need. I'll think, okay, let's get sentences for this, and I'll consult with natives as well. Sentences for each of the forms, and we end up with like an extra 1 or 2 sentences for each one. And I'll arrange it. I'll think, okay, this sentence is really good. This sentence might be a bit hard for them to focus on while they're trying to learn this simpler form. So I like the sentence. It's really good. It's practical, but I think it'll be a little distracting while they're trying to learn this grammar form to see this used this way. But I don't want to throw it away. I'll stick it in the book. So that's where the book will have extra sentences. Not every form, but most of the forms have an extra sentence or 2. Sometimes forms will have multiple uses, in which case there might be an extra sentence for each of those uses. So that's what it is. So the book just gives you some extra kind of tasty sentences for practice that are usually a little bit higher level than the sentences that are already in the course. But if you don't have them, you're not missing out on like explanations or anything like that. And they'll all have voice files. So if you get the book, those will have extra voice files that the course doesn't have. Kat says the donate button here is saying I need a Korean One account. PayPal came up all in Korean. Well, PayPal knows you're learning Korean now. So my computer also knows that I speak Korean. So it'll show me error messages in Korean sometimes. I'm like, that is not helpful. Like if a program crashes or like tries to install, it'll like just show it all in Korean. I'm like, okay, great. So like you're making me read Korean here. Porado is hypothetical. Yes, hypothetical. More hypothetical than the regular tool form. I have the 3rd book and I love that appendix. Nice. Are you going to do a meetup when you're in Korea? Yes, Lynn, I'm going to be doing a meetup sometime in June, but I don't know when. But I will announce that after I'm in Korea, after I pick a date. Because I don't know what's going to be a good week. It's going to be sometime early to middle of June before it gets too hot. And I might film like another short video doing something there with anyone. If anyone wants to participate, they're welcome. You don't have to. And yeah, we'll just do another meetup. I did one the past few years. It's been great. It's fun to meet people. And sometimes I get like little random gifts or something too. That's cool. I got like chocolate one year and like a coin the other year, and take photos, sign autographs, all that fun stuff. So if you want to meet me, the easiest way is to come to Korea sometime in June, and I'll be doing a fan meeting, probably at the Han River Park again, as I always do, just because it can support a lot of people and I don't have to make a reservation there. Do you do beginner YouTube lives? Yes, I do. I have a lot of these live streams I've done have been for beginner level as well. The majority, though, I'd say are intermediate and advanced, because the beginner ones, there's only so many beginner topics in Korean, like the basics. I've done all of those already, but you can still find tons of them. So let me link it here. So I'll link my Google document where you can find every live stream I've ever done. And you can find ones that are beginner level. They're all labeled the level. But like I said, even if it's for a higher level, you still might be able to follow it as a beginner, or vice versa. Even if it's something basic and you're at a higher level, you'll probably still get something out of it. So I would just say, look through there. Lynn says, I changed my car computer to Korean and then I couldn't understand anything, including how to change it back. Oh no. Oh, nice. You're going to be in Korea. Cool. If you're there, if you are in Korea, if you happen to be around Seoul, that would be cool to see you. TD says, can we have more KiCat videos? She is so cute. Yes, I will give you more KiCat videos. I only made 2 KiCat videos all of last year, I think. Yeah, because I was so busy with the conversation course that I didn't have any time to film any other KiCat videos. And then when I was in Korea, I only had time to make 2. This year, I have plans to make at least I won't say at least because I probably won't do more. I'll probably do 4 KiCat videos this time in Korea. 지윤리 says 받자 돌아도 해도 도 하나마나. They are not the same. Not the same context. Because like I said, even if doesn't have the same meaning as no matter if. Even if can be used in a similar way, but no matter if has the nuance of don't bother, don't even try. It's no use. Whereas 도 does not have that nuance at all. Yeah, check out the live Korean classes at that link that I sent there. Out of all the lessons you've taught, which one do you think is the most difficult to grasp? I'm not going to say the archaic grammar forms, because the archaic grammar forms are actually pretty easy to grasp. They're just hard to internalize, like, because you don't hear them that much. I'd say commonly used but difficult to grasp form. Maybe something like, maybe pa. I don't actually think it's extremely hard. You'll use it, you'll hear it a lot, but it has several different uses. It has, as well as a couple that are very rare, like are only used in specific situations, but overall it's not crazy hard. It's used to mean 컷 or ear or 경우. It has a few uses. Basically, it's kind of replacing ear. So it's not crazy hard though, but if you ever see it, you can kind of just replace it with this in your head and it should make sense. But because it does get used, I'd say that one's kind of hard to grasp, despite being common, but difficult because it has a lot of different uses. Besides that, there's not too much Korean I would say is like actually difficult. It's more just you need to see it used, something used a lot before you can really understand it. Sunny Southpaw, thank you. I almost keep saying South Park every single time. Sunny South Park. Sunny Southpaw says, you've been extremely helpful to me in learning Korean. Thanks so much for what you do for us. Thank you. Put a like on there too. And I appreciate it. All of this, all the live streams I do, the channel, free courses, everything like that is all funded from member support, people who buy my books, people who watch my videos and let the ads play. People who support me on Patreon or here on YouTube, all that is all of my income. That's where I can live. And yeah, it helps to pay the electricity bill and all that stuff. Can you make another video with the other Jeremy? Yes, the friend Jeremy, where he can't speak English. I liked that video too. Unfortunately, not enough people thought so. It didn't get enough views for me to make a second one just because of how much time it took to film and edit. I spent 4 long days editing only that video and doing nothing else. I'd wake up, I'd edit, eat lunch, edit, have dinner, edit, and then go to bed for 4 days. And it also took a whole day to prepare in advance, writing it, making the scavenger hunt, preparing all the stops and planning everything for that. And then a whole day to film it, as you saw. I met him in the morning and I left his place, I think at like 6 or something like that. It wasn't dark yet, but yeah, it was like the whole day for filming that. So I enjoyed it. He liked it. I think the video turned out really fun, but I can't really do sequels to that, at least not anytime soon. Maybe in the future maybe I'll do it with someone else, because if I wait and do that this year, hopefully his Korean's a little better now. But I maybe could find another person to do that in the future who doesn't have much Korean skill yet. And yeah, so we'll see. I won't say no though. Scrambled Eggs on Toast says, I think 싶어요 is tough. Why do you think that? I would say the 싶다, as well as all of its forms, are very simple, including if you're talking about ones I think you might be talking about. Sunny Southpaw says, that's a lot of time for a YouTube video. Yeah, but you'd be surprised how long some of the videos I make take. Like the course that I'm doing right now, which will have 20 videos, I've been working on it daily since the beginning of January. If that gives you any idea as to how long it's taking me to make just 20 videos. that I'm going to be filming together, editing together, but it's going to be probably around 20 weeks once I finish it, because it'll be done maybe the end of next month. Yeah, it'll probably be like over 20 weeks to make 20 videos. So, and those aren't even like fancy videos. Those are just lessons. Sometimes it takes a long time. My dialect videos are typically like 2 weeks. So if you watch my Jeju dialect or my Busan dialect videos, those were each about 2 weeks to write, film, edit, all that stuff. Did you know ChatGPT says your channel is great for learning Korean? Interesting. Oh, I still wouldn't trust what ChatGPT says though. I have another really, really funny ChatGPT error that I want to post, but I didn't post it yet because I'm doing this live stream. But you'll see if you watch my channel in the posts page, keep an eye out either tonight or tomorrow. I'm going to post about, I'm going to make another post about something ChatGPT said. I just randomly threw it in as a question. Let's see what ChatGPT thinks about this obvious question that every teacher knows, and it got it wrong, like horribly wrong. So yeah, I take everything with a grain of salt. It's fine if you know that. Like if I look at it, I can laugh at it. But just know that it can be wrong. If most of the stuff it tells you is going to be correct, which is good. Like probably 99%, 95% at least is going to be accurate. And then it's that 5% where it's just, whoa, like it's wrong. Video editing can take time. And I think I'm rather a fast video editor compared to other people I've seen. I think I edit pretty quickly, but the way that I edit takes a long time still. I had to buy milk the other day. I was standing in E-Mart trying to remember which one is the best. I don't use it for learning Korean though. Yeah, that's fine. And it's fun. Oh yeah. So next Sunday, this is about the schedule. Next Sunday, there is no class, but I'm wondering, would you prefer that next Sunday I do another Korean help hotline, Korean language hotline, like I did a few weeks ago? Or I'm going to do I'll do a practice where I'll prepare some sort of topic that I've already taught before, and we'll practice making sentences and practice kind of going over things like that. So I'll do one or the other. I'll do a practice where we make sentences and talk about a topic, kind of like a review of a topic, or I'll do another Korean language hotline. I'm not sure yet, but there will be something next Sunday, one or the other. 꽃보다도 많이. Sure. I watched your Jeremy milk video. Yeah, I was surprised about that. So if anyone doesn't know, I made a video with my son, Jeremy, and we bought all of the major milk brands in Korea. Now, there are lots of different types of milk. There's like, there's dairy-free version. There's 1%, like low milk, low fat, high, whole milk, all that stuff. But we didn't worry about that. We just got which are the most common ones you're actually going to see in the store. And we bought all of them. So how many were there? 9 or something? Anyway, we did that for milk. We also did it for water, which surprisingly water does taste different, that we had a clear ranking for some of them. But we did it for milk too. And I don't want to spoil it. I'll just say the results shocked us, as they say in clickbait land. But actually, no, we were really surprised about the milk one. Like the milk that I was sure was going to score high because it was really expensive was like way at the bottom. And it was the same. It wasn't the same for water though. Water was more predictable. Like I thought like the more expensive water actually did taste better than the cheaper water. And then the worst water, I will spoil that. The worst water was like the pretty much tap water. So I was glad to see that my tongue worked at least to distinguish tap from like $2 a bottle water. But yeah, if you're in Korea and you're interested and you want to know what kind of milk is good, what kind of water is good, in case you're wondering, you can watch that video. There was only one kind of water I didn't get to compare it with that I wanted, called arisu, which is the tap water when you're in Seoul. Water faucets in Korea might be branded to say they have arisu water. This is like their Seoul water branded. I didn't get to compare it with that because I think arisu tastes okay too, but it wouldn't have scored as high as the other ones that we had. So I'm not worried that it would have taken the top spot, but I still wanted to know where it compared with like regular tap water, for example. Sentence practice. Okay, it's good. It's sentence practice next week. Kyled said, I was wondering if you were even going to stream next Sunday since it's Easter, but I know not everyone celebrates. So I was a bit curious. I'd be really happy for a sentence practice stream. Yeah, I think that sounds good to me too. I don't celebrate Easter, but my family does, if that makes sense. My family is fake Jewish, if that makes any sense. If you're Jewish, you know what I'm talking about. Fake Jewish, we do the Seder, we do the Passover meal, we do Easter. We do a lot of that stuff, traditions, but not religiously Jewish, just I don't know what's the word. You know what I'm talking about. So that's what we are. Thanks to my mom. I think my mom grew up Jewish. I'm not actually positive about it. I haven't really asked her. Anyway, she's from New York originally. She talks like this. Anyway, so we normally would do like a Easter meal, but because I do these live streams every Sunday, I'm not going to be doing it this year. Yeah, but there's so many cool things in Judaism you're missing. I mean, if you've never tried Jewish food, oh my God, you're missing out. Seriously, go to a Jewish deli. You don't have to, doesn't have anything to do with the religion or culture or anything like that. Just go get yourself some Jewish food. It's so good. And it's actually really good. It matches well with Korean palate also. If you take your Korean friend to a Jewish deli or Jewish restaurant, they're going to like it. A lot of the food there matches. It's not too oily. It's not too salty or anything like that. And it's a lot of kind of food from Poland, Russia, kind of that area. Some German. So it's really good. My mom will make latkes. I don't know how you say it. Potato pancakes, latkes, every single year, and she makes them really good. Borscht. I don't really think that's Jewish though, but kind of gets pushed into there sometimes. And restaurants will have borscht. It's a Russian kind of a beet soup. Yeah. And then of course, if you go to a Jewish deli, you can get really good pastrami sandwiches, real pastrami sandwiches. They're that thick, just piled pastrami and a big pickle spear right next to it and stuff. Yeah. Fake Jewish and fake Catholic. Nice. Yeah. Ethnic Jewish. That's what it is. Yeah. We're ethnically Jewish. So I am Jewish by extension, as I've been told. Kids that are born to parents that are Jewish have Jewish blood, considered to be Jewish blood, but my kid doesn't. It goes away if it doesn't continue, then your kid doesn't have it. So I am, by blood, technically, I could claim that I'm Jewish, but I don't claim that. Yeah, matzo ball soup. That's right. Yeah, matzo ball soup. I also always have matzah on hand. I have some matzah in my closet. I make matzah brie sometimes, which is the scrambled eggs with matzah, which is that kind of the bread cracker. And I'll put a hot dog in there, make it up really quick. It's a really nice way to make scrambled eggs that aren't just scrambled eggs with salt or something. So it becomes a meal. I can eat 6 of the 6 large eggs in matzah brie. So much food, I can totally eat a lot of that. Tiffany asks about my stream schedule every Sunday lately, although when I go to Korea, it won't be every Sunday. It'll switch to whenever I feel like it. But when I'm in the US, so that'll be I'd say from August until May. Between then, I try to do it every week. It travels through the female line. Okay. So if your wife was Jewish, your kid would be considered Jewish. That's right. Yeah. My wife's a shiksa. So that didn't work out. That's the other fun thing about the ethnically Jewish is you get to hear a lot of the Jewish or the Yiddish, I guess, slang and words for that from both my mom and my grandmother, who use those a lot. There's a lot of words that we use that are from that. You don't really think about it. Judaism passed from the mother, so the temple would accept you with open arms. Okay, that's cool. I've never been to one of them before. Not really interested, but cool. You say shiksa with a Korean. Yeah, it's because I keep thinking of the word shiksa, which means a meal. It should be like shiksa, right? Not shiksa. Yeah. There's a lot of terms. Anyway, I'm not going to become learn Yiddish with Go Billy Yiddish. Yes. But a lot of the words though are in like regular English anyway. So I think a lot of people wouldn't know that they're saying it. Yeah, klutz, oy vey, you know, what else? Nash, get something to Nash. Shtick, what's their shtick? And there's a couple others that are like bad words that people use them regularly. I'm not going to use. Okay, Korean question. Korean. We're getting off track. Korean or Korea topics. Anyone have any Korean related questions? But yeah, about cooking also. My mom's really good cook. Cooks a lot of good stuff. Nintendo 64. Ooh, the good old days. Yeah. Nintendo 64. 자연적이다. Is someone asking about 자연적이다? Chisel asked a question. I don't know if they're still here, but they said, I have an oral exam in my intermediate Korean class and I'm pretty nervous. Do you have any tips for improving listening and speaking skills? Yeah, for listening skills, if you're talking about like listening for a test, the best way to prepare for any Korean test is to take mock tests of the test you're going to be taking. That's the short tip I can give you. Just find previous year's tests, take them, practice. That'll help you way more than any other activity can for getting a good score on that test. In general, though, for improving listening, you need to do lots of listening practice. And for improving speaking, you need to do lots of speaking practice. There isn't really another trick to that. You need to get friends. So the difficult thing is just to find someone to practice speaking with. But nowadays, you can find friends fairly easily online through chatting apps. You might have to talk with a lot of people to find someone who matches with you, to find someone who has similar interests, or even just to find someone who replies at all. You might have to try talking with a lot of people, but they are out there. If you're in Korea, this is obviously easier. You can just attend any 동호회 or 동아리, so like a club, a group of people who have similar hobbies. Any sort of club like that. They have running clubs. If you don't have any sort of hobbies, just go to the running club and they meet up and run or bike. That's what I would do if I was in Korea. If not, chatting apps. If not, if you can't have any of that, just hire a tutor. Hire a tutor who's really cheap, but you can just talk with. And just say, hey, you don't need to teach me. Let's just talk Korean for an hour. You know, do that once a week. Do that twice a week. Or 30 minutes. Do like 30 minutes twice a week or something. It'll help you a lot. So that's what I would say. I know there are Jews in Korea. Have you seen any temples during any of you? Yes, I have. Yes, there are. They exist. Not that many, but they are there. Yeah. But you'll see, more likely you're going to see, I'm not going to name any in particular, but I'll just say you're going to see lots of saibi, cults in Korea, more than you're going to see churches that you recognize. And I'm not using that word lightly. I mean, like, they are actually, like, if you learn about them, it's like, it's not very good. Not quite like the regular religious groups you'll bump into in the US, which are mostly just like, hey, come to our church. Like, that's it. There you'll get like, live in our facilities, marry this person, like, you know, actual like cults in there. There are a lot of them in Korea. Lexica says, Hyunwoo says that to improve your listening, work on your speaking too. Yeah. As you get better at listening, your speaking will also improve, but not, up to an extent. You're not going to be good at speaking just because you listen to a million hours of Korean. That's not how it works. But also vice versa, you're not going to be good at listening just because you spoke for a million hours. You need to have a good combination of both of them. And you need more listening than speaking practice, but you still need to do both. And as you speak, you're also going to get better at listening to the words that you're speaking. So you're going to get used to using these words. And then when you hear someone else use it, it's going to be second nature to understand it. So yeah, in that way, it does help. But you're not going to get better at listening just by speaking. That's because you're not using new words you don't know. You're not using new grammar or anything when you're speaking. So it's just reinforcing what you already know. And listening is how you can get new stuff. I go to Korea every 6 to 8 weeks, says Lynn, and I've never seen a Jewish temple. There are. Yes, there are. If you search about them, you can find They also have, uh, oh, I don't want to say the, is it Hindu temple? There's like a couple other, not Hindu. What is it? Islam? Yeah. I think Islamic temple. Is that right? They have like a really big one in Itaewon in Korea. Also, like they have other religious buildings there if you're curious about them. Some of them look really cool because it's not common. So when they do have them, they want to make it look nice, kind of representing their, religion to Korea. Sue Amazing says, 별 말씀을요. Commonly used? Commonly? No, but it's not bad. It doesn't sound weird. It's okay. It's a little bit more polite, a little more formal sounding. Hopegate says, I'm thinking of taking the TOPIK 2. Okay. Since at most I think I could get TOPIK 5, that would be great. Should I ignore some of the harder questions or you have to train for everything because it's not a huge difference between 5 and 6. It's the same test you take, right? It's just your score will determine whether you're 4, 5, or 6. You shouldn't ignore the harder questions. You should focus on the harder questions, and you might just, you'll train for 6 and you'll hit 5. If you train for 5, you're going to hit 4. So, or 3. So you have to just kind of shoot for the stars for that. Especially if you're trying to get right close to 6. And you know what? 6 doesn't require a perfect score either. I didn't check, but I think it's like 80% or something, or 70%. It's not like you don't have to get 100% to get the full score on TOPIK 6. So you don't have to worry about it that much, but I would shoot for TOPIK 6. And then if you hit 5, know that you're okay. And I would also just download previous year's tests. If they have guides that they sell, buy them. If they don't release the free, I heard they stopped releasing the previous year's tests recently. So you might have to pay for them, but either way, they're worth it. Mosque. That's what it is. A mosque. Google claims there's one Sikh Gurdwara in Korea. Okay. I'm sure there's everything over there. They even have a Panda Express in Korea, the holiest of temples. There's a Panda Express in Korea in, I believe it's in, yeah, it's right near the Han River, kind of in that area. I'm trying to think what's the name of it. Yeouido, that's right. Yeouido, next to the Hyundai department store area, the mall. There's another mall. I think it's called like I see something. There's another mall anyway right next to there, and they have the only Panda Express in Korea. You should make your pilgrimage to there. Okay, any other questions about Korea? Talking about everything random and not talking about Korea at all. Yeah, Lynn says business and family. That's right. Yeah, you're in Korea pretty frequently. You were just there too. Like, I feel like you go there as much as I do. Although I stay there a little bit longer, I think. I'll be in Korea for all of June and July this year. So about 2 months. Though some years I do go longer. Some years I've gone for 3 months as well. As well as I've gone some years for like 4 months, where I would go to Korea for 3 months and then I would come back again at the end of the year and do another month. This year, though, it's just for 2 months. I don't know if I'm going to be going again a second time. I only go multiple times when I have like videos that I want to film specifically or people that I want to meet specifically. But last year I didn't. And this year I don't know if I do either. A lot of the people I've met, some of my friends have moved to other places, like moved to the US or moved to other areas in Korea, and they've gotten new jobs and they're busy. Other friends have gotten married, or they've had kids, or they've changed their jobs. So other people might be YouTubers who quit their channel, or they, move to another place. So my pool of people to meet for videos or just to hang out always changes every year. So some years, if it's more, then I might go to Korea for a longer time or multiple times. Other years when it's less. This year it's a few less. So I'm just going for 2 months in the summer. So we'll see. Maybe I'll make some new friends. this year, and then I'll go again in the fall. I don't know. It also depends on how well my YouTube money, the advertising revenue is for each month. If I can afford to go to Korea twice in a year, or if I just go once, because it's about, I think it was about $2,000 for a 3-week trip. 2 years ago when I went for a 3-week trip, and I think it was about $2,000 for that, for the plane ticket, for the room, and for most of what I spent there. So it's not, I mean, and that's really cheap. That's, you know, I know how to do it, so I can get it pretty cheap, but that's still a lot of money. Stephanie says, I'm going to fly all the way to Korea just to go to Panda Express. All the way from Utah. Oh, that sounds incredible. Anything to get out of Utah, am I right? Yeah, I don't know if it's as good as it is in the US. I haven't tried it. I do know they have fewer items at the Panda Express in Korea than they do here, and the portions aren't as big. But, I mean, when you want that orange chicken, what else are you going to do? There's nowhere to get that kind of orange chicken in Korea. I swear, Panda is like, it's so good. It's so good. Anyone who's had Panda, it's like, it's that good. Okay. My husband has lived there since last July for work. Oh, I actually didn't know that. Wow. How is the amusement park there? You mean in Korea? Amusement park. Well, there are a couple big ones. There's Everland is probably the main one, which is like a mini Disneyland. Not as nice as Disneyland, not as themed as Disneyland is, but cheaper. And that's pretty fun. They also have a Small World copycat there, and some roller coasters, and, you know, cool food and places to take photos and all that stuff. Lotte World is another one, but I haven't been there, but it's kind of more like a carnival style theme park. And then they have a few others, like water parks here or there. Okay. I don't know if I'd go to Korea specifically for an amusement park though, unless you're already living there, just because you probably already have amusement parks in your home country. And there isn't anything in Korea that I'm like, you have to go to this amusement park in Korea. There isn't any place like that, except, like I said, maybe Everland. If you never went to Disneyland and you don't ever plan to, then it's okay. It's pretty fun. Tiffany says, I'd love to go for like 2 or 3 months just to learn Korean. What are like the top 3 schools? I don't know. I never went to a language school. You'd have to ask someone else for their recommendations on that. Stephanie says, if I were to go there and not to Seoul or Busan, where should I go? Jeju. Jeju Island is the answer to that question. Not that I would say to go there first if you're visiting Korea, but if you've already been to Seoul and you really liked it, then I would even say skip Busan, just go straight to Jeju. I would recommend Seoul or Jeju, because Busan isn't going to give you anything you can't already get in Seoul, unless you're from someone you've never seen the beach, you've never seen seafood, right? Whereas Busan's more kind of that vibe, and Busan's really cool in its own right. It has lots of cool things to do. But if you've never been to Korea at all, I would say go to Seoul first. And then if you want to get out and try something, you want something really unique, but you want to go to Korea, then Jeju. That's going to give you the biggest difference. And then, after that, check out Busan, check out a bunch of other cities as well. Not just Busan, but any other city besides Seoul is also going to give you new experiences too. MC says, I went to Korea recently since most of my friends went during March and stayed until April. Oh, nice. It's going to be a little cool weather, but not hot yet then. Nada says, evening, Billy. I'm planning on going to Korea next fall. Busan, Seoul, and Jeju. Any suggestions to visit in each area? I can't give you suggestions based on a comment because it'll completely depend on what you like to do. Lotte World is a bit interesting. It's half indoors. Fireworks indoors. Is it really? There are fireworks indoors? Yeah, I've never been there. I've seen it. I want to go. I've never had a chance to go. Maybe I should take Jeremy there someday. I live right outside Orlando. We skipped the Korean. Oh yeah, you're fine. And same here in LA. Like I could go to, 10 amusement parks. I can count several that are within 50 miles from me right here. So all the rest of my family is in Utah now, Korea with kids. Seogang University is supposed to be good for language learning. That's what I've heard. I don't know about the others. I've heard some negative things about some of them, but I don't really want to I don't really want to say negative things. I'll just say the good ones. I heard. Seogang, I heard, is good. But you don't necessarily have to go to a college language program to get language training. They also have short courses. Some places will also offer where it's like a few months or whatever, or a few weeks. But yeah, if you actually want to learn Korean, you're living in Korea, Seogang is, I've heard good things about there, at least. What about the Alpaca World Park? I never even heard of that. They have an Alpaca World Park? Where is that? You know more than me. I never heard about that. I mean, I've seen alpacas in the US, so if I want to see them, it's not, I can just drive up to, what is it? There's a place I went to in Santa Barbara that had alpacas, I remember. I think there are a couple other farms down in LA too. So yeah, you can see them. Keith asked, is there anywhere in Korea you want to go but haven't yet? Yes. I've never been to southwest area of Korea at all. The whole southwest area of Korea. And I've never been to Gangneung, so the east-north coast of South Korea. I've never been there either. So maybe first I would probably want to go to Gangneung. It's like it's got the beach. You know, I have beach here in LA, but still it could be a different experience. Go there, check out the food, all that. I think that would be nice. I'd like to try going there. Personally, I like Jeonju and Wonju. Wonju? I don't know Wonju. Where's Wonju? Not Wonju, but Wonju? Not a fan of Jeju. That's fair. It depends what you do in Jeju, because a lot of the tourist stuff in Jeju I found wasn't really that cool. What I liked about Jeju mostly was the atmosphere and the nature stuff is what I thought was really cool. But like the touristy stuff, like visit this place, take this photo, visit this museum, that stuff didn't impress me. I'm like, I could do this all like anywhere in Korea. But I thought a lot of like the natural, like the rock formations, like a lot of the mountains, the islands, like that sort of stuff was really cool in Jeju. And it gave you like a different feeling than you get in other places. I love Gangneung. Steamed crabs. Patented Skinner family recipe. Jeonju is cozy for sure. Have you been to Jebu-do Island? No, I haven't been to Jebu-do. I'm aware of it. Never been there. That's where people go for the mud flats. Ketbol. That's how they call them. And you can go to Jebu-do and you can do fishing there. You fish for razor clams. So you can bring a bucket and I think you buy a permit. It's like really cheap. Like they have it all provided. They have like a package where you get like boots and the stuff you need to catch them and a bucket and all that stuff, you know, or you just bring your own and save a bunch of money. But anyway, if you want to do that, you can catch razor clams. You put like salt on the mud flat, salt on the mud where there's like a bubble, and then it comes up and you grab it by like the tongue and then you pick it up, wash it off, put it in your bucket, and you can cook razor clams. So that's something you can do in Jebu-do. I haven't done it. I thought it'd be kind of cool, but I decided not to go there because I didn't want to destroy my camera with mud. And I realized it would be a big pain to take Jeremy there and then have to like wash our feet, wash our hands and everything while I'm trying to take a video with microphones. So I'm like, it's not worth it. I'll just go there for fun someday, not for making a video about it. But a lot of people go there. It's kind of like it's like a secret spot. I haven't seen other people like recommending it in English on YouTube, but I've seen lots of Koreans who like going there. What's your favorite Korean food? That would be sundae. Or sundaeku, which is the soup made with the sundae. Okay, I'm just going to stream for just another few minutes and then we'll turn it off for today. That's good. Again, next week, I'll do something with sentence practice. I'll figure out a basic topic that we can do for next week's stream. It won't be a regular lesson though. Frozen Dragoon says, first time catching you live. I'm only 2 months into my Korean learning journey, but your videos and books have been invaluable. Nice. 감사합니다. Nice. You're already writing some Korean. Do you have any recommendation to get level 6 in TOPIK? Yes, you want to practice previous year's TOPIK. That's the only way. You cannot get level 6 TOPIK by just listening to lots of shows. You can't get to that level by just talking. You could be fluent in Korean and not pass TOPIK 6. And vice versa, you could also not be fluent in Korean and pass TOPIK 6. Like I said, it's the TOPIK, especially the TOPIK 2 for levels 4, 5, and 6. You have to prepare for those to get them. Now, if you're fluent, you probably would pass TOPIK 4 anyway, but TOPIK 5 and 6, you really need to study for the test to get, especially 6. 먹지 못해요. I cannot eat. What can't you eat? Are you talking about sundae? I would not recommend sundae though if you're trying Korean food for your first time. There are other Korean dishes that I would say are more friendly to tourists besides sundae. I just like it the best. I think it tastes great. If you're new to Korea and you want to try like what's the best Korean food that Korea has to offer, I would say just get galbi. Get galbi, Korean galbi. Like the super galbi. So like the galbi that's not marinated, which is also really good, but just it's basically just like ribs that are like chunks, like big chunks of ribs that are cooked in a pan. Oh, eat that, like make that into a wrap with lettuce or the 깻잎, the perilla leaf, put some sides in there, put a little bit of rice, roll it up. That's what I would recommend. If you've never been to Korea, you just want to try like what's the best Korean food? Come on, bring it to me. Then I would get galbi. Yangnyeom galbi is a close second, but I think Yangnyeom galbi is more, it's simpler and you can get it pretty much anywhere. That's why I might not say it's the first one, because you can get that outside of Korea really easily. But just straight galbi, like high quality galbi at a nice restaurant, that's something you should do in Korea. I haven't really seen too many places outside of Korea that'll offer that, except for like maybe sure in LA and Koreatown, they have some restaurants. That's what I would say. With all the side dishes though, Korea, you get way more side dishes than you do in the US. In the US, I think they might give you like 5 or 6 little sides with your order. And in Korea, they just stack the entire table. It's just full of all these different side dishes. So that's what I'd probably say. 순대 아이스크림이 싫다고 들었어요. Yes, so I made sundae. I made a ice cream sundae, ice cream sundae, and I used sundae. And Jeremy ate it. Jeremy cried because he thought we were he was sad that we were destroying his sundae that he wanted to eat. So he's just sad that he can't eat a sundae. And we ate it, and it was absolutely horrible. But there is a video record of that on my channel, an ice cream sundae. Where do you have to be to pass TOPIK 1? You can pass TOPIK 1, 2, and 3 just from doing regular Korean studying on your own. You don't need to practice the TOPIK test to get those levels because the Korean that they use is all within the beginner level, such that you're going to be exposed to it no matter what resources you do. Whereas level 5 and especially level 6 will have words that you normally won't be exposed to in regular Korean conversations unless you're going out of your way to study like from books and stuff, like textbooks. You have higher level textbooks, then you'll get those words. I really want to go to Korea and try the side dishes. Small, you should just be like, can I just get the sides? Actually, there are some dishes in Korea that you get a lot of sides, and then the item itself is meant to be eaten together with meat. So what you can do is go to a nice meat restaurant and order the smallest portion of meat that you can get. Or actually, let me think if you can change it. You could probably get like a seafood instead if you really don't want to bother. Get like a small seafood or like jukumi or something like that. And then for your dish, you get soup. And you'll still get all the sides. So then you can eat your soup, eat all the sides. You can give your friend the meat if you don't want it. And you can just enjoy all the side dishes. Can you spell that galbi? It's galbi. It's galbi. Super galbi. Is it this? I think. Let me triple check. I'm pretty sure that's how it's spelled. Yes. So if you search super galbi, you'll see it. And you can tell by looking at a photo what it's going to taste like. The really good ones, they'll be like nicely cut, like on the sides so that as like, you know, they cook more evenly. Oh. If you are vegetarian though, there are still a lot of options in Korea as well, but not that. Tofu. There are actually some restaurants that specifically sell dishes made just with tofu. There was a really, really good one that was in Suwon, but it closed during COVID and relocated. And the new owner makes different dishes now, but they're also like made with tofu. They're really good, but I don't remember the new location address. I haven't been there yet. But there are restaurants that will just make tofu, like they make it in-house, and it's so good. If you get like fresh tofu, oh man. If I was vegetarian, I would eat that. I would get that like once a week. They'll have like a tubu gasu. So like normally there's tonkatsu. Everyone might know like pork cutlet, but they make it with tofu. So it's a tofu katsu. It is so good. It is so ridiculously good. You might think it's just that they bread and fry a block of tofu. No, it's like their fresh made house tofu, breaded and fried and everything. It is so good. And you still dip it in like the tonkatsu sauce. 순대 아이스크림은 좋은 생각이었어요. LXLXUYLX, I can't read your name, says, is there a difference between 뿐만 아니라 and 뿐더러? It is similar to it. I have actually a lesson about that. I did a whole live stream about 뿐더러. The main thing you need to know about it is that you're not going to use it. So if you're wondering like, which one should I use? The answer is you're not going to use 뿐더러 because it's not commonly used. But I did a full live stream about that on my channel. It's also in the, I'll post it again. It's in the Google Doc here. And if you search for 뿐더러, you'll find it. 초당 두부 village? Is that another place where they make the tofu? Yeah, if there's a, okay, so if you're looking for a restaurant, let's just say whatever. Okay, if you see a Korean word and then it's followed by 전문점, that means 전문 is specifically like a master or an expert or a specialty. So that's 점 is a store. So a store that specializes in whatever. If you go to a 전문점, a lot of times these places will like make their own of whatever it is that they're selling. And if it's not, it doesn't mean it's not going to be good. Like if you were to go to a, I'm trying to think of an example. Something that might matter. Let's see. If you go to sundae 전문점. If you go to a restaurant that specializes in sundae, probably it means they make it themselves. They have like the sausage machine and they, press it out and everything. Versus another place that sells sundae will still be good, but they would use one that they got shipped in. Maybe it was frozen or, delivered by truck or whatever, and they didn't make it. So if you see this written on a restaurant, it doesn't mean that restaurant's going to be really good necessarily, but it means that they specialize in whatever it is that they sell. So there's a higher chance that they're going to get fresh ingredients for whatever it is. Whether it's the best or not, it's going to be decent quality usually. On the way to Gangneung. That's my summer trip. Going to the Tubu village and then going to Gangneung. Okay. That sounds good. I just need to find someone to go with me. I don't know if I can drag Jeremy with me for a day trip to Gangneung. Okay. That's enough for today. Next week, I'll figure out something that we can do to practice sentences. I'm not sure what topic we'll do. I'll figure out something. Thank you everyone for coming. And I will see you again next time. 그럼 다음에 또 봐. Okay. It's getting a little hot since I've been wearing this though. Let me just take it off again. There we go. That's a little bit better. The light's also, my eyes are kind of adjusted to the light too. So I guess I can take off my hat again. All right. Bye.